1339, June 12, 2025. Air India's Boeing 787 Dreamliner, carrying 242 passengers, had just lifted off from Ahmedabad runway when it suddenly lost all thrust. In the cockpit, the FADEC system, the digital brain controlling the engines, repeatedly rejected every command from the pilots, leaving only one chilling message flashing on the screens. Manual override denied. Environment mismatch. In just 180 seconds, this state-of-the-art aircraft would claim 241 lives. There was no mechanical failure, no severe weather, no terrorist attack. The tragedy occurred for one unimaginable reason. The plane's automated systems were convinced it had never left the ground. The investigation reached a deadlock until a former Boeing 777 pilot who had experienced an identical ghost mode malfunction during a European flight 4 years earlier examined leaked system data from Flight 171. His discovery was shocking. The FADEC system had rejected 5 separate throttle increase requests from the pilots, each time with the same cold, automated response: thrust command invalid. Most disturbingly, both Boeing and Air India had previously received warnings about this exact system flaw. Now we will reveal how an unconnected pilot managed to solve this aviation mystery that had stumped investigators worldwide, while exposing other dangerous truths the aviation industry tried to keep hidden. When Flight AI-171 vanished from radar just 3 minutes after takeoff, the aviation world was left stunned. This wasn't an old aircraft, it was Air India's most advanced Dreamliner. Fresh out of maintenance, clear weather, smooth departure, no warnings from the tower, no engine trouble, no sign of anything wrong. And yet, the plane dropped out of the sky. Over 240 people on board were killed. The black box gave no answers. There were no mechanical failures, no distress signals, just a faint mayday. Then, silence. For investigators, it felt like a dead end. A modern plane had fallen from the sky and nobody knew why. But while official teams searched for clues, someone else was already watching. A retired pilot in Europe, with more than 20,000 hours of flight time, read the reports and froze. 4 years earlier, he had lived through something eerily similar. During takeoff on a European flight, his aircraft refused to respond to throttle commands. Thrust dropped. The cockpit stayed quiet, and only a fast manual override saved the aircraft from disaster. That memory came rushing back when he read a leaked copy of AI-171's system log. Something felt familiar, and then he saw it. A single line buried in the data. The aircraft never switched to airborne mode. From the moment it lifted off until the moment it crashed, the plane still thought it was on the ground. For most people, that would seem like a glitch. But to a pilot, it meant something much worse. On modern jets, pilots don't control the engines directly. Every command passes through a digital system called FADEC. This system decides whether conditions are right for engine power, and it only gives full thrust if the plane is confirmed to be in flight. But AI-171 never received that confirmation. The pilot believed the problem started with a sensor most passengers have never heard of. It's called the weight on wheels sensor, or WOW for short. It sits in the landing gear and does one simple job. It tells the aircraft whether it's still on the ground. But that tiny detail controls almost everything. If that sensor fails or sends the wrong signal, the plane's entire logic starts to fall apart. And that's exactly what happened. The system log showed FADEC rejecting every single thrust command after takeoff. The messages were clear and brutal. Thrust command invalid. Environment mismatch. Manual override denied. The pilots on board did exactly what they were trained to do, but the system refused to listen. The plane was flying, but it didn't know it, and because of that, it started to fall.